Good evening. This is the Persistent Rumor Chocolate Chat. I am Chocolate Yoda. I swear I am. Just look at my totally legitimate birth certificate. Um, you know, totally legitimate doctors signed off on it. So it must be real, right? So, anyway, today I am dedicating Chocolate Chat to the ladies. Now, not all of you are going to want to hear what I have to say. So let me give you a caveat so you'll know whether you want to waste your time or not. So, all right, if you are a woman that is totally satisfied with her romantic relationships and never confused about what your significant other is thinking and never frustrated about any part of your relationship, then you probably don't need to hear this, but you might take what I have to say and help one of your female friends out the next time she expresses frustration and confusion. But if you're a woman who maybe has had some challenges, then this might be for you. So, uh, just to kind of give you a little bit of foundation, I'm a keynote speaker, seminar leader, coaching consultant. I've been doing that on and off for over 30 years at this point. I've counseled a lot of people in relationships. I probably would say it's mostly men, but it's certainly not even close to being exclusively men. I have worked with a lot of women also. So this little chat is based on decades of field research and personal experience. I don't claim to know the absolute truth, but I know what works, and I know what doesn't work as well. So here we go. This is a scenario that I have never heard from a man. I've only heard it from women, and not only have I heard it directly from women, I see it online. I belong to a few forums online that are about either feminists or dating advice or things of that nature. And I see this come up over and over and over as a question. And I've even polled women on Facebook about this question. And what's interesting to me is that the answers from women are shockingly consistent to this question, right? So I'll pose this scenario as I've seen it over and over again. A woman will say that she's been with someone that she loves for several years. And by the way, most of the time I've heard this, it's a heterosexual relationship, but I don't think that really matters. It just happens to be fact. Um, so she'll say, I've been with him for years. I love him. I want to be with him. In fact, I want him to marry me. I want to get married, right? Then they'll say, but he's not said I love you, right? Um, so what should I do? And so the number one thought that you might have had just now, and the number one thought that I've heard expressed from women is get rid of him. If he doesn't love you, if he's taking your energy, all that stuff, all that very, very dramatic stuff, then he's got to go. He's got to go. The guy you love, the guy you want to be with, the guy you've been with for a while, he's got to go because he doesn't feel exactly what you feel exactly when you feel it. So here's a different perspective on that. And you're not going to like this. I already know. I've had this conversation too many times to pretend that I don't know. So here we go. If you love your man, that means he's lovable 100%. He did and said the things that created the feeling of love in you for him. He's lovable. That's guaranteed through your own words. If you love him, he's lovable, right? We can't debate that. So here's the question that you're going to hate. Just because he's lovable why does that automatically mean you're lovable? Sorry, I know that stings a little, but it is what it is, right? And here's the interesting part is that in all the conversations that I've had with women in real life and online, the one thing I've never heard a woman say is, you know, well, if I love him and he doesn't love me and I want to be with him, then maybe I should work to make myself lovable. Never occurs to you. The only thing that occurs to you is that he's got to go. Even though you love him, even though you want to be with him, he's got to go. And again, it's because he doesn't feel exactly like you feel when you feel it. So, another thing you'll hate is that perspective that he's got to go because he doesn't feel what you feel is arrogant. It is pure arrogance. The humble thing is to say, hey, what can I do to make myself lovable? Because here's the mating dance, and it happens through pretty much every mammal species, and it happens in a lot of bird, snakes, all sorts of other species as well, even insects, right? But for sure mammals, um, I accept the idea that there's a mating dance. And what that mating dance is that me as a man, I have to make an impression on the woman that I want to be with. Fine, fair deal. I've got to put up my whole existence as a human being to get her interested in me. I have to be funny. I have to be smart. Good credit helps. A decent car helps. Decent money helps. All those things are great. I have to put all those things up. I have to be good at conversation. I have to be good at sex. Fine. All of those conditions are perfectly acceptable to me. But here's the question. Once I do my dance and I get you interested, what have you done during this whole time to get me interested? The answer is probably nothing, but that's okay. It's okay because that's the way it works. And I accept nature. I have no problem with that. But now that you're interested in me, now that you love me, well, it's time for you to ante up, right? If you want me to love you, then now is your turn to do what you need to do to get me to love you. If you're not willing to do that, fine. If you think that the way that you feel about this guy is easy to come by, I have a few exes that will tell you the opposite. They will tell you that that is absolutely not true. And I again, forget about just my exes. I have spoken to hundreds and hundreds of women about this. They send the guy away and then they never quite have another relationship like that. So again, if you're good, if you're solid in your relationships and no problems, no issues, no need to take my advice. But literally, I'm trying to help you. It might not sound like it because I'm telling you things that are kind of hard to hear, but really, if you take a moment and step back and think about what I'm saying, you might find that there's some merit in it. So that's another installment of Chocolate Chat. I've been Chocolate Yoda, spelled Yoddah, because film studios are litigious. And hopefully you'll join us for the next time. And us, I mean my heterosexual life mate, Chancleta, on the next installment of The Persistent Rumor. Until then, bye-bye.